You know, we're leaving soon, and Beauregard has an inn at one of the bigger libraries in the city, and I want to go there before we leave.
Excellent. Let's go. Tomorrow, right? When they're open?
Yes, but Beauregard has given me a condition. She had some questions for me, and I would like to answer them, but I don't feel right telling her and not telling you. So I would love for you to stay here for a few minutes.
Sure. Yes, whatever you want, Caleb. It sounds serious.
Well, I really want to go to the library tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this may be a very stupid decision of mine.
Yeah.
What does she want from you?
Would you be willing to leave with me tomorrow if I asked you to?
Of course.
Just the two of us.
Absolutely. Right away. Whatever you want. But why?
Is the secret that valuable?
I am going to tell you the story of how I murdered my mother and father.
Oh.
When I was younger, I grew up in a small township outside of Rexcentrum called Blumenthal. My mother's name was Una. My father's name was Leofric. Everyone was very excited about me when I was young. I was bright and confident. People used to say that I glided through life and everything just worked for me. And as I got older, it became clear that I had a knack for the arcane. And everyone talked about the Solstice Academy. Maybe I would go there someday. It's the way they do things at that academy. They don't take all comers. They look for the diamond in the rough, and you know, every couple of years they find one. But when I was a young man, adolescent really, they found 3 of us. Another boy and a girl, and
From your town?
yeah, from Blumenthal. And we were accepted.
How old were you?
I was young.
What's young? Teenager?
Yeah. Anyway, we went there. I studied for a year. I worked so hard. It came easier to me than the other two, but they were also very accomplished. There were other students from other parts of the empire there. And a little over a year of learning all they had to impart, I met a man named Trent Ickathon. He became our teacher.
Why didn't you say anything earlier?
Earlier when? Earlier tonight? A week ago? What do you mean?
When we were talking to Trent. You know we were talking to Trent.
So, after a year of studying in the main school, Trent handpicked all 3 of us again. And we left the school proper and went with him to a home out in the countryside where he trained us. And it was a good time. We believed in the empire. We were going to keep it strong. He was cruel. He hurt us a lot. Made us go through extreme circumstances. But we got strong. I also fell in love, but that's another story.
One of the other students.
Yeah. So we rose through the ranks, and it was the Empire over all, and eventually he wanted to test our allegiance, and so strangers were brought in, traitors. Disgusting people, traitors to this empire, and we killed them.
You just
What?
Students?
Mm-hmm.
He made you
We wanted.
executioners.
We wanted to be.
Caleb, that's deeply fucked up. You know that, right?
Yeah. So, a few months of this, of studying, of a little bit of torture, a little bit of murdering dissidents and traitors and deviants.
And then one day your parents were brought in as traitors. No.
We were ready to graduate. And the last test of our allegiance was... I'm getting ahead of myself. You know, I went home. I went on a trip home and visited my parents. And when I was there in the middle of the night, I awoke and overheard them talking and went to the stair and listened to them talk about revolution and tearing the empire down. And I felt disgraced and shame for my family. My mother and my father, who were so wonderful to me when I was a child and were so happy for me to go to the academy and believed in the empire so much. And I went back to the school, and when the three of us were summoned and told what was expected of us, I knew what had to be done. And we went to this other boy's home first, Eodwulf, and we stood by as he killed his parents, and we went to Astrid's house and had dinner with them, and she poisoned them. And then we went to my home and we grabbed a horse cart and in the middle of the night placed it against the door to the home, and I set it on fire.
And you had to do this to graduate. To prove your loyalty.
Well, yeah, but it didn't exactly go according to that plan, because as soon as I heard my mother and father screaming inside, I was so sure, until I wasn't, and I broke a bit.
Did you go in after them?
No, I went to an asylum for a number of years. I broke. And I don't remember so well what happened to me there. It was quite a number of years.